been a couple of years since I've been out here. I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago, walking through the woods. I stumbled upon this abandoned homestead set back in the trees. And I don't know if anybody's making use of it, but it looks more run down than it did first time I was out here years ago. But seems like everything's pretty much the same right where it was. I photographed it before, but now I'm gonna videotape it. I feel like I need to be quiet in reverence of this place that's just slowly moldering into its own grave. It was someone's paradise, and now it's nothing. You know, first I want to document this yard. This is kind of way far back out here into the woods. The house has begun collapsing on itself now, left untended here. Last time I was here, there were holes in the roof and part of that structure was rotting. Looks like we got what's left of an old Bowflex, overtaken by the Spanish moss. Probably a fine place to work out under these moss-covered trees. I can't imagine living out here. I don't know what this was. May have been a place to pen in animals. Maybe it was just a little herb garden at one point. I don't know. Nothing in there now. I feel like I'm in Jurassic Park here. Barbed wire fence, fallen in many places, seems to mark out the boundaries of their yard. And then it slopes off towards a lake down there. I know, somewhere out that way. Probably not too far from the trees is a shoreline out there. This premium property at one time had a working covered hot tub gazebo over here. I see birds and creatures darting through the trees over there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming out here, walking all the way from your house to this gazebo, which is leaning, eaten by termites. I'm not gonna touch anything. Oh, gross. Gross now, but can you imagine just sitting out here in nature in this very luxurious looking hot tub? Can you imagine that? Just sitting out here. I mean, it's a long way to go to get into your hot tub, but just sitting out here under the trees. Am I crazy, or does this mushroom look like a crab? Oh my goodness. Out here in the woods. Let's check out the controls. I don't even know how you would have gotten up in this thing. I guess there used to be stairs. General Electric switch box. Used to be covered. Now it's all fallen down. This, I believe, was pump house. Yep. It's a pump house for a well. Power's off, power's cut. This was once a place where people lived, smack dab in the middle of nature. Now it's a place being reclaimed by that same nature they lived in. This is all grown in now, but there are tracks here made by what looks like 4x4s. Oh, look at these ferns. This is absolutely like Jurassic Park. Actually, being in Florida, anywhere, it's a lot like Jurassic Park, and I can tell this is pretty hard packed down, walking in these tracks. Seems like a vehicle came and went this direction quite a bit. This was somebody's yard. This was somebody's playground, recreation area. Just look at what you're surrounded by as you wander through here. Sorry if this video is not super stable. This is not even urban exploration. This is wilderness explorers here, right? Where's Russell? I should get a badge. I just need a dog and a giant bird named Kevin now. And our adventure will be complete. Look at all these ferns sticking up, and this is a well-cleared track through the forest. Actually, there's a structure here. Some sheet metal. It's been buried by a fallen tree. There's wood. Maybe at one time that was some sort of trough, or perhaps they had set up some kind of tree house or blind out here. I lived in Michigan for a time, and I walked through the woods a lot there, and a lot of this reminds me of Michigan. You know, lakes and trees and forts, but just palm trees scattered into the woods as well. Just kind of, it's mind-boggling. It's just evidence of people living out here, having a good old time in the woods. I see a lot of scorched bark out here. Looks like they burned areas clear. There's a couple different ways you could go. We'll go this way. This is just a quiet glade here. I could tell people rode their ATVs out here in circles. Probably not even that long ago, but they did it a lot. Even though it's been raining, a lot of these spots are pretty hard packed down. There's really no way through back here either. So I think this is probably the extent of where the land they were using was. This is the first time I've been this far in. It's just beautiful back here. Just, you know, in the nature. I wonder what sort of animals have moved back in. I haven't seen any. I've been on the lookout. I think most likely you're gonna find wild pigs out here. Maybe a bobcat or two. If you can find those things, maybe raccoons, possums. If you're real lucky, maybe we'll get a Florida panther on camera. No, that would be bad. I don't want to be a kitty snack. No, I don't think I would be. They're pretty skittish, but it would be an honor to see any one of these animals from a distance, but up close, they're all quite dangerous. So we're gonna head back to the house and just take as safe of a look at it as we can, see if any of that structure is still solid. I'm just here to document. This may be the last glimpse anybody will have of what life used to be like in this city. Your property set back far from the road, ATVing and freewheeling through the mud and embankments. Just had a little house set back here. Living the good life. Sitting in your jacuzzi. These people were living it up. Last time I was here, I was able to go inside. This time, house has severely collapsed. And I just don't think that would be a great idea. There's two doors. One door sits open, pulled open, but the weight of the collapsing house. This front porch I already know is separating. Top is leaning. Back porch used to be their laundry entrance. Side of the house is rotting. It's holding on by just a little. You got the coolers. There's still a dog bowl sitting outside. Now, if you didn't know any better, it's still seems like a kind of place just waiting for someone to come back. Right now, I think it's just waiting to collapse. I feel bad for this place. My understanding is, I may be wrong, but I did some research. a couple years ago. The county wanted to develop this land, maybe use it as a park or something. As you can see, they didn't. And that was years before. That was years before I even discovered this place. Now, they may or may not have put the world's smallest park blocking the main entrance from the road that this place used to have. But, the county. Now, fortunately for us, the house is not leaning this way. Walls have rotted. This corner of the house still held up. But, yeah, there's no saving the place now. It's too far gone. And unfortunately, the steps leading up to the remaining door are also rotted. I poked them with a stick, so there wouldn't even be a peek inside this time. Not that there's anything too happy to see in there. I know the last time there was still mail on the counter, people's names and addresses. This is what used to be the front yard. Looks like there was, for a time, a for sale sign here. Roofing material. I'm being screamed at by a creature. There are 2 hawks. Falcons. They're looking right at me. They're probably mates. And they just took off. I'm glad that I came back here for one last look at this old homestead. It's not going to be bulldozed. It'll take care of that itself. And this old house, left sitting empty since 2002, will be embraced and reclaimed by the nature surrounding it that I'm sure its family used to love and bask in. If you're going to live in nature, don't bulldoze it and remove it. Leave it wild. Keep it just enough at bay that you can enjoy it, so that when we're gone, it can take its rightful place right where we used to be.